made available to newsmen in Abuja. It's reported that, you know the backstory, I don't need to bore you, but a lot of people have said, oh, apologize and let peace reign or whatnot. But she now wrote, dear distinguished Senate President Godswill Akpabio, it is with the deepest sarcasm and utmost theatrical regret that I tender this apology for the grievous crime of possessing dignity and self-respect in your most exalted presence. I've reflected extensively on my unforgivable failure to recognize that legislative success in setting quota is apparently not earned through merit, but through the ancient art of compliance of the very personal kind. How remiss of me not to understand that my refusal to indulge, quote again, your request, another closing quote, was not merely a personal choice, but a constitutional violation of the unwritten law of setting men's entitlement. Truly, I must apologize for prioritizing competence over capitulation, vision over vanity, and the people's mandate over private dinners behind closed doors. And I realize the catastrophic consequences of my action, legislative denied, timber flayed, the tragic bruising of egos so large they require their own postcards for this disruption to the natural order of quid pro quo. I bow my head in fictional shame. Go and read the rest on your own. I know you're waiting like, oh, what did she write next? Read it up on your own. It's all over social media. But why did I bring it up? Yeah, because, when I say I miss you, something like, you really mean it. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. All right? It's not like this one. But apparently she was trying to make light of it. I don't know the reason behind it. I mean, what would have informed the need to put out a satire of this nature? We're still doing with a lot of things. And we're like, I apologize. I don't know this one. Oh well. In Nigeria, there's always room for extra drama and a bit of entertainment. I think this one is just lighting up the mood and entertain us. But this one is not light because it's a death sentence that is called for. No, it's nothing to do with Senator Natasha, but the husband, Peter Nwachukwu, not related to Kimberly Nwachukwu in any way. The husband of the late gospel singer, Sinachi Nwachukwu, has been sentenced to death by hanging by the Federal Capital Territory High Court sitting in Wuse Zone 2, Abuja, and Justice Njideka Nwosu Iheme delivered the judgment today after dismissing Nwachukwu's no-case submission. The court found him guilty of culpable homicide in connection with the death of his wife on April 8, 2022. Remember this story? The woman, Sinachi, was she the one that sang down? Hey, cool, man. Yeah. It was big. It was a big song then. And then she was, extreme case of domestic violence, really, that led to her death. And so he gets death also, life for life, it seemed like. So he's been sentenced to death, and we'll get to see what happens next. But either it's signed or not, he's going to be in prison for a very, very, very long time if they do not have a solid appeal to get him off the hook of this one. And I think for a lot of people, it's justice served, and to serve perhaps as a deterrent to people who think, you can abuse someone to even the point of taking their lives in this particular manner. So guys, welcome to Hard Facts for today. My name is Kimberly. What you could call me Kim, the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF, the Fellow, or Chanya One, Madam Speaker. I'll say yes to them all. And we start off the show looking at some of the big stories driving conversation. We'll take on 3 of them. And after that, the 4 o'clock hour shift gear, where we'll get to look at the politics of things. This time our focus will be on the PDP. Is it the end of the PDP, or it's not through the end so casually just because, an entire state that has been held by the PDP since 1999, since the Fourth Republic, has decided to dissolve its structure and integrate itself into APC, like literally morphing itself into the leading party in the state. And so a lot of people are saying, perhaps we're seeing the very end of this party. And some other people seem to think, no, don't be too much in a hurry to give up yet, because a coalition might fix it. But you know what? We'll get more thoughts on that at the 4 o'clock hour. And at 5, when we get to our Patriot Corner, it's going to look at an important question around, did we wrap up? I wanted to find out from the Deacon if he took the last part of the pledge. We did out to serve Nigeria with all your strength, to uphold our honor and glory, so help us God. I'm going to find out from if he didn't tackle on that. We'll take some bit of it before we get to the other half of it, which is asking a critical question. What are the values they were handing to the next generation of Nigerians. So I went for a program yesterday. It was meant to be like a fireside chat and all of that. And we had this laid back conversation as to values, the national values, and what is being handed to the young generation. Why it feels like, people are not prioritizing honesty, integrity, hard work. It just feels like make we hammer, make we hustle, who's school pay and all of that. So looking at where did we get to disconnect? Is it this generation? How do you correct it? And how do you hand down the right value? Are we even on the road to handing out the right value? What are we doing, or what are we handing to the next generation of Nigerians? So that will make for some interesting talking point. If you stay with me from now to 7, you might get another surprise at the 6 o'clock hour. I wouldn't tell you what it is. It just might be eyewitness. It might be something else. So tag with me to the very end of the show. So let's get started. And I've touched on some important stories for today. These stories that I mentioned, the first 2-day count, you can touch on them also as we look at other stories. And one of them, perhaps maybe not much talked about, but it begs for interrogation also. If you recall the story of one delectable lady who was Minister, Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, Betta Edu, and Sadiya Umar, before her. Have you ever really wondered what's the update on these women? I mean, they were alleged to dipping their hands in the purse, mismanaging public fund and all whatnot. But it feels like cricket now. Nobody's talking about anything. By nobody, I mean EFCC. Because you would expect that at this point, perhaps maybe there's some update, or is it a case let's just move past it, it's swept under the carpet, it's no priority at this moment, there are bigger things to talk about. Because 15 months after launching investigation into the happenings of, the Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, Social Development Ministry, we've not had any update from the EFCC. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is yet to release a report on the alleged fraud cases involving these ministers: Sadiya Umar Farouk, Betta Edu. Why are we not getting any report on your findings, EFCC? The investigation also implicated former National Security or Social Investment Program Agency NSIPA coordinator Halima Shehu, a contractor James Kwete. Over 30 billion naira was reportedly recovered by the EFCC and the ICPC from 50 banks linked to the ministry during the minister's tenures, the both of them. The controversy began when a leaked memo revealed that Edu had allegedly instructed the then Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin, to transfer 585 million naira into a private account belonging to one Oniyelu Bridget, who was identified as the project accountant for the grant for vulnerable groups. Now, further documents surfaced showing Edu's controversial approval, including payment for airfares to Kogi State, which had no airport. And then President Bola Ahmed Tinubu suspended Edu on the 8th of January 2024. A week earlier, Halima Shehu had been suspended from NSIPA over allegation of financial misconduct, with Edu accusing her of overseeing the movement of 44 billion naira from NSIPA account to private and corporate accounts in late December 2023. The EFCC now subsequently questioned Sadiya Umar Farouk over alleged mismanagement of 37.1 billion naira in the Social Intervention Fund during her tenure. And I know quite a lot of you called and said, all the school feeding program during the lockdown, did they interrogate it also? Did the food get to them? What really happened? Nigerians were really curious and felt like this was just a little scratching the surface when it comes to Sadiya Umar. So following all of this, President Tinubu constituted a panel by the Minister of Finance, Wale Edu. They reviewed and reformed the financial architecture of the Social Investment Program, which included NPAR, conditional cash transfer, government enterprise and empowerment program, and then the homegrown school feeding programs. And these programs were suspended when Betta Edu was removed. The EFCC followed up. They did their tracking. They spoke with people, and they revealed that the source at the EFCC, looking at some of the reports, that no charge has been filed against these women just yet. They attributed the delay to the complexity of tracking financial fraud involving high-profile individuals and influential bankers. And even the FCC spokesperson confirmed that the investigation are ongoing, but didn't give a timeline for the conclusion. So we're still waiting 15 months after, or we might as well just move on to other things, because Nigeria drama no dey finish for this country. So why wait to get the update on Betta Edu, Sadiya Umar, and some hurts my heart that they are women though. But it is what it is. And he also tells us something about how we deal with corruption, corrupt practices, and allegation of corruption in Nigeria. We've seen tons of people who are holding political office, important position, legislating for us, who have corruption allegation hanging over their head massively. Enough for you to think that maybe if we were really serious about dealing with this individual should not even be making decisions for the countries or even working on it until they are cleared by a competent court after thorough investigation. But apparently not the case for Nigeria. And so you still get people that through the lacuna wriggle themselves out of prison and get back to their business, or their case is dropped indefinitely as long as they comply. You know what I mean? Nobody brings your file out from wherever it is gathering dust at the moment, and you be a good boy and then go about your business. But it's not helping our image, not internally, not externally, and it's definitely not doing much to addressing the concerns about our fight against corruption and the impunity of it in the country. So perhaps this is just one of the many stories we have to just move away from. Or maybe not. And that's why we're asking questions. And a lot of people are like, what's the update, EFCC? Any news? We want to know. We want to know. It's 15 months is significant enough for Nigerians to get an update as to what the situation is, isn't it? Well, I don't have a guest, so you will be my guest and share your take on this story. And if you want to call on the FCC to give a report, we'll get to find out from you in a bit. Now, moving on to another story quickly. And this is an opinion of someone who perhaps it might resonate with you. And it says no single candidate can defeat Tinubu in 2027 without a coalition. Yeah, Kenneth Okonkwo. Used to be with Labour Party. Or is he back with the Labour Party? Because you never can tell with politicians. 1 minute you're here, the minute they're gone, and the minute they're back again. Well, Kenneth Okonkwo, former spokesperson for the Labour Party presidential campaign council in the 2023 election, says opposition parties must form a coalition to defeat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. Now, the actor turned politician spoke when he appeared on Politics Today, a program on TV, and said Nelson Mandela said it always appears impossible, but it happens. I may not guarantee an alliance with Peter Obi and Atiku, but as we're moving to 2027, I know that there will be a coalition. Whether it be between Peter Obi and Atiku, I don't know, but there must be. There must be one, because that's the only choice the opposition has to make an impact. And if they want or think they can stand a chance against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027, then they need to form a coalition. Have you guys noticed that election period came early this time around? You know, half the time it's usually a year before election. That's when you get to get the vibe and the movement. Usually everything happens behind the scene. But this time around, it feels like a bit more brazen, a bit more open. You're seeing, a state collapsing its structure and integrating into a ruling party. And there are already whispers, the little bluebird is whispering all over the place. That might not just be Delta State that would act in this fashion. And they also mentioned a couple of other state governors who are already, planning things in the shadows as to, collapsing the PDP structure within, and they're all PDP at this point in time. So it's interesting how things are playing out. And even though the president has called out people who are putting up, campaign posters of some sort and saying Tinubu for 2027 and all of that, there's still quite a number of them. Yesterday I saw one, I think it was from Government Tompolo, and then he put something on the movement for this 2027 with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it feels so strong, particularly with the current president. There is a lot of movement, a lot of work out in the open, people who are aligning politically, people who are coming out boldly to show that indeed they are for Mr. President come 2027. It just feels like we already have that emotion. Even constitutionally, campaign has not fully started, but it gets that vibe as if, well, they're campaigning for this man. I'm curious, what have you done enough to allow for intense campaign? Well, if you ask the handlers of the president, they will tell you, even with his track record at this point, he deserves a second term. So, what kind of coalition will be solid enough to get the number of votes required to get Mr. President out of office in 2027? If he's not come out to say he's interested, if he does come out to say, I am game for 2027, do you think it can be moved?
I'm so tired of boiling water to drink like it's a full-time job. The last time my family tried drinking boiled water.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 This is Nigeria Info.
Concerning the investigation around the Humanitarian Ministry Disaster Management, Betta Edu, Sadiya Umar, and others, since investigation started 15 months ago, even before she was suspended and or whatnot. And then the big question as to the coalition, if they are serious to run for 2027 and to get the APC out of office, a coalition needs to be formed. But at this point in time, with all the calculation and all the work and all the obvious politically motivated alignment that is going on at this point in time, you think there is a possibility of a coalition knocking Mr. President out if he does indicate interest come 2027? Because it feels like the APC is using a political book that is sophisticated at this point in time. And the sophistry of it is what Nigerians haven't seen in a bit. And it's quite interesting what will happen. I mean, for example, when last you see someone who's with an opposition holding office and strongly in one party, working with another party, and acting counterproductive to the party where he sits. If you don't know who I'm talking about, we're talking about the FCT minister. He's still a PDP member. And they've not been able to get him out of the PDP, even though all his actions and inactions, obvious to everyone, that he's acting counter to the interest of his party. Well, he's very opinionated and has a lot to say about his party, but while he's still there, beats a lot of minds at this point in time. And so we're looking at, can an opposition even get the APC out? So at this point in time, is it about the opposition or the people? What would it take at this point in time to get that change, if it's possible? All right. And a lot of people also have thoughts to share about the World Bank report on poverty in Nigeria. A World Bank verdict on Nigeria's poverty level has attracted widespread outcry, with some interest group demanding urgent action to avoid a poverty-induced economic meltdown. Now, the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank had just concluded 2025 spring meeting in Washington, D.C., United States of America. They painted a gloomy picture of Nigeria's economic outlook in the short to medium term. Among the highlights was the downgrading of the country's economic growth forecast, with an indication that the country's economic policy reforms are largely ineffective in addressing inclusive growth. The institution ended with a declaration that poverty rate in the country would increase by 2027. Now, speaking at the end of the World Bank IMF meeting, Observer and civil society organization expressed embarrassment over Nigeria's rating in the spring meeting. Now, while outlining the key challenges, they also made recommendations aimed at salvaging us from this foreseeable future. Meanwhile, commenting on the World Bank verdict on Nigeria economy, President of the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mine and Agriculture, Dele Oye, propose short-term intervention that could help shield Nigeria's vulnerable population and make meaningful progress in the fight against corruption. Country Director of Action Aid Nigeria said he is concerned yet unsurprised by the green projection from the World Bank. And, a lot of people who've been reading the writing on the wall can already see that the forecast of 3.6% point increase in Nigerian poverty rate by 2027 is not rocket science. It's not complex. It's easy to see that we're not addressing poverty and we're not addressing the root cause of it seriously in the country at this point in time. So, perhaps it's a wake-up call to the government to saying, they're projecting that it will get worse. It is bad as it is right now. Very, very bad. Like Michael Jackson kind of bad. But to say that it is going to increase if nothing is done to interrupt it is one that is absolutely worrisome at this point in time. And a lot of people are just, giving their opinion as to what we need to do to intervene and addressing it. We're dealing with 106 million Nigerians living below the $2.15 per day threshold as at 2015. And we're dealing with extreme case of multi-dimensional poverty where people have seen their lifestyle change over a period of time. They will not want to identify as being poor, but the struggle is real. You can see it in how a lot of opportunity costs, a lot of things have to be foregone for you to get certain things, some basic things at this point in time going. So it is what it is. The future, the government needs to be very deliberate, and that's why some people are really concerned that we're getting swept away by this wave, this tsunami of politics, and not looking at the real issues, the substance of the matter. To saying you have been given a mandate for 4 years to dealing with certain things, and we need to see results and not be consumed by the politics of things. It's not fair on Nigerians that we have to focus so much on just the politics of things and not governance proper. And from Rivers State to Nigeria as a whole, we're focusing more on politics. Well, I'll open up the phone lines. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. YouTube is at Nigeria Info Abuja. I do look serious with this way I tucked my shirt in. I won't talk it before you run to YouTube. But Ogunlade Taiwo Johnson says, oh my God, look at my Kim looking fabulous. Oh, thank you very much. I missed you also. And thank you so much for joining us. YouTube is at Nigeria Info Abuja. Facebook is at Nigeria Info Abuja also. You can tweet at Nigeria Info ABJ. Hello. Good afternoon. I missed you also. And hello? Okay, we can hear you. Don't seem like you're ready. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Adola Peter from Bisalagi.
Go ahead, sir.
You see, I expected what the Kogi Central Senator did. I expected her to apologize because to me, I don't think she has concrete evidence to make the Senate president. Or maybe the evidence he has is not public worthy, cannot be presented to the public due to one reason or the other. So one thing about Nigerian politicians is that they will continue to eat their vomit. And that is why we Nigerians, we should not always support these politicians because these politicians cannot be trusted. They have disappointed us. Or present as sustained us. So as long as we fight for them, we defend them, we are just wasting our time. They know how to settle themselves. You see, I know that woman, she has gone through a lot of psychological trauma and challenges, and I know her family must have advised her. Or people who love her, go and beg the Senate president, go and apologize, so that you go back to the Senate and start eating your goodies, your fat salary and allowances.
All right.
Because she has visited us. And I expect, you see, I also expect Fubara to do the same thing. It's just a matter of days. Because Fubara will do the same thing by begging his political godfather, who is betrayed and is okay. Politicians cannot be trusted.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, I see a lot of people sending messages talking about the sound quality. Is it still the same? Has it improved? I need to know. Please give me feedback via WhatsApp. We need to know that you can hear Nigeria Info, that it's crystal clear, no holdback, no hollow sound or anything. So please, if you're still getting it unclear, just state your location and let us know what the quality of sound is. Hello?
Hello.
You are welcome.
Kim, I beg, you know you are very intelligent, and it's also important to note that some of our callers, not everybody there as intelligent as you are. But the question is, does our callers here, is everybody that understand that what Natasha Akpoti did was not actually an apology? But it's just maybe the English. What is that word there that is confusing people? He was making mockery of whatever that Senate president represents. So some people can misconstrue that thing as an apology. That is not what it is. When I was reading it yesterday night, I mean this morning, I was just laughing. Do you understand? And many people don't take and say you don't apologize. You look at the kind of call we are going to get. But that is not why I even called. Now, the issue of coalition. Can anybody help us tell Atiku and Papa? So, because let them they play this spoiler. There is no way the South will support a northern candidate except the South have done their complete 8 years. That is not to say Tinubu must go 8 years. If Peter Obi, if Atiku and if they support Peter Obi today, I am telling you, forget these people they talk already. He became the president from outside. He bulldozed his way to that place, this and that. There is a way people will deny you support. Even if you read everywhere in Nigeria, it will still not favor you. When you go after good luck, Jonathan.
All right,
now,
all right.
I think Abubakar is the one that is playing this spoiler here. Let them go and sit down. Go and sit down.
All right, sir.
Allow us so that we will remove this.
All right, thank you very much. You've made your point. Remember, there are a lot of people don't hold the line. 1 minute tops, 1 minute 30 seconds, straight to the point. Hello.
Wow, great. Kimberly, my beautiful, eloquent, intelligent, cute sister.
Wow.
I miss you so much. I welcome back.
It's obvious from all these adjectives you used. Thank you very much.
My name is Jimmy. You can call me from Central Area.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm really excited hearing your voice. And I want to join my views with Chris' opinion. Honestly speaking, Chris hit the nail on the head. Atiku Abubakar and Kwankwaso are just becoming spoilers. Honestly speaking, if they bring any other Southern candidate, fine, they will have a serious election 2027. Otherwise, Tinubu carry go. Whether his policies are good or not, we'll go ahead. Atiku left for PDP. We betrayed Goodluck Jonathan, came back again, did the same thing. I want to do the same thing. We must see to become president of Nigeria by force. After Northern has done 8 years, let him be reasonable, for Christ's sake. He's a good person as an individual, but he should wait for another time, not now. That's all I call to say. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Hello. You're welcome.
I mean, do you travel to China?
Very soon, I will.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
I'm calling from Gwagwalada.
Go ahead.
It's no matter of somebody is in power for 4 tenure and he's from one region, he must have double tenures. Unless he's providing good governance, is respecting the democratic norms. But that will not fly. It will not hold water. If it is bad governance and the hardship and misery, then you say somebody will be sustained for 8 years. It's not possible. Coalition will work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Abubakar seems to think the coalition will work, but it needs to be a formidable one. And I wonder what kind of alignment would present itself formidable ahead of the 2027 election. Well, let's look at some of the comments quickly. I have on Facebook here, Jafaru Saini, I see you. Thank you very much. Adama Kashim, I see you. You're very kind. Eze Paul Chikuma, you're very, very kind. Thank you very much. You can leave your comment on our Facebook page at Nigeria Info Abuja also. And on Twitter, I see Adiole Innocent, who is watching us from Kaduna State. That is good to know. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon.
Oluwakim.
Welcome to the show.
The most beautiful Kim. How are you? I can see your face here, looking so radiant.
Thank you very much. You're very kind, sir.
Yeah, this is your brother, Pastor TJ from Dubai.
Go ahead, Pastor TJ.
Oluwakim, it's like you are surprised that the campaign started so early this time around.
Are you not surprised? Because it just came too early. It just feels like you can feel the is it palpable? tension, political tension in the air already.
I'm not surprised. You know why?
Tell us.
You know why?
Tell me.
This is the first time we are having a politician as a president of Nigeria who knows how to play politics. He's a top politician, and I can tell you for free that this man has the next target in his heart right now, in his mind, is 2027 election. I can tell you who is going to win Tinubu. I don't know the person. Unless Nigeria decided to take back Nigeria from these old politicians who are killing Nigeria in the name of playing politics. We are dying. Our economy is becoming the worst in the whole world. We are facing shame and embarrassment everywhere just because of the policy, because of the kind of way they are running our government. And they continue playing our politics until we rise up and say no. And I make a demand from Tinubu today, using this your golden platform, that Tinubu, how many people do you want to go for when Nigeria is being killed daily? How many people are going to remain in 2027? We are going to be playing politics until they waste all Nigeria in Benue, in Borno, in any part of Nigeria, clean Nigeria. Nigeria should rise up and say no. We should besiege National Assembly with protests that would demand for credible electoral process that can give us the grace and the ability to elect our own leader that will lead us to promised land. Nigeria, rise up and defend the
Thank you.
All
right.
I wish Nigeria all the best. God bless you, man. Have a wonderful
Thank you very much, Pastor TJ.
Yeah.
Right, and Ibrahim Adeshoyi says, I am watching live from Shaki in Oyo State. I was in Shaki, a few years back when we went for a special report there. Interesting place. Thank you so much for joining us from Shaki in Oyo State. And David from Central Area says, I missed you last week. Glad you're back. Thank you very much. On behalf of Senate President Senator Akpabio, we hereby accept Natasha's apology and hereby recall her back. David from Central Area. You do know it's satire, right? Perhaps that's why Chris called in and said some people will not understand that it's satirical. It's not serious. She's actually making a mockery of the people who are saying she should apologize. She's literally, laughing in your faces at this point in time with that. And the curious part is it necessary? Does it do anything does it count as a point for her at this point in time in whatever strategy she's employing? Just curious questions, honestly. Chimeze Nwafo says, we have many actors in Nigeria, but Natasha, well, I guess she may have been dragged down by something and some people. If there's much than death sentence, Mr. Nwachukwu deserves it, please. PDP, I pity them, but when you cut a cloth and you join it, it can never be the same measurement. They got it wrong, and it will take decades to revive the party. Sadiya Umar should just shout APC loudly 3 times. And that's all it takes. Natasha and Akpabio's drama, I think the both of them alone can tell their stories. To me, I believe PDP is dead, and the party really caused this to themselves by allowing an individual selfish interest ruin the party. Olutade Abiodun's stake. Welcome back, Kim from Israel. It says, this English in Natasha's letter is heavy. Do the whites speak English like this? The judgment on Osinachi's death is highly welcome, but I wish it could have been delivered almost immediately after the incident so that people would learn better. I hope that Ajayi's death sentence follows immediately. Woman no they go prison for Nigeria. I don't know what makes it look like Sadiya Umar Farouk cannot be prosecuted. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar should stay away from the 2027 presidential race and be in the good book of history. His body language is worsening the crisis in the PDP as members are worried he might buy the party's ticket again. Good afternoon. But a man does have a right to dream and to aspire, to perspire, to inspire. Isn't that what the motivational speakers say? That a man has a right to want to be president. Doesn't matter how many times he falls down and loses. He has the right to pick himself up, dust his babanriga, and get the ticket once again. But if it's not the man a lot of people want, then it becomes very problematic. On Osinachi's husband's judgment, the court should tender mercy. The sentence is harsh. The case was obviously judged with emotion without considering the children. Despite the man being terrible, the death sentence isn't worth it. Fitzgerald from Airport Road. And let's see here. Mrs. Ibrahim Abi is not around at the moment. Natasha apologizing? I thought she said she wouldn't apologize. Or is it just rumor? Satire. She actually did put it out, but it is meant as a mockery of some sort. if you get the drift. Do you get the drift? Jay from Gariki, yes, I did. Thank you very much. Hello. Good afternoon. Anybody home? Knock, knock.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, I am Raphael calling from Latcam.
Go ahead, Raphael.
Yes, the issue of campaign is just a thing to laugh about because the way our politics in Nigeria is being played, it's difficult for one to come out and defeat Tinubu because the politics of regionalism and religion come into play. Like now, what is going on is basically region because Southerners are saying that this is their time, which they cannot send it out or which they cannot lock it. Why for us to get a good candidate that will defeat him will be difficult. So, Northerners may just be like they are confusing things altogether. So it's when Nigeria accepts somebody without any form of
All right, sir.
racism or sectionalism.
All right, sir.
That will count.
All right.
That's the only thing.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, my name is John. On
Talk to us.
Osinachi husband sentenced to death by hanging. It's a pity. I just pity the children growing up without mother or father. We that lost our father long time ago, we know how, it's not easy. I wonder how those children will cope, unfortunately. Coming to the coalition discussion and then the president being the real politician of the rest, Nigerians can defeat these people. We know the truth. We know the right people. If we come together, let me tell you, if the parties assemble their candidate and we are not sentiment, if we want to pick the best among them, we'll pick the best among them. We all go to interviews, we all go to, different places and see how, when they debate, when they talk to us, we ask them questions, we will be able to know who can, take us to the next, the promised land. Who can help us establish this, put this country in the right direction? Honestly speaking, if really Nigerians want to get it right, 2027, no politician is too big to be defeated. Nigerians can defeat all of them. The only thing we need to let's leave our religion one side, our tribe one side, and pick up the best among the parties. It doesn't matter the party, whichever party that gave us the best candidate, we all know when they speak, we all know. And when they tell us what they are going to do, we hold them accountable, for that and use what they have done in the past to believe in what they can do for us. Thank you. Have a good.
Thank you very much. And Kelechi Ahiam says, I'm doing okay, Kelechi. Thank you for asking. It's been a while. Yes, I was away for a week and I'm back now. I still remain fine country. Oh, that's you. Fine country. It's been a minute. Ime Stephen, Nigeria's political system is more entertaining than the entertainment industry. Stephen is from Guagua, and he says too much drama going on. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Welcome.
This is Shagun.
All right, Shagun, talk to us.
Please, do we even have opposition in Nigeria?
Tell me, Shagun, you seem to know a lot. Do we?
We do. That's the point I'm trying to say. The idea of opposition is someone has an alternative idea, a superior vision, and a superior track record to what we have now. The question is, can you call Bukola Saraki, Bala Muhammad, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, other opposition? Where is the superior track record? Where is the superior? Please, I beg you, go and listen to the interview, Nigerian Economic Summit Group. They asked all of them the same questions. Look at the answers. Let me just give you an example. They asked Tinubu, Nigeria is in a debt crisis. Revenue is equal to debt. Where are you going to find money to run your government? They asked all of them. Do you go and listen to it? I can even forward it to WhatsApp, play to people. They asked Peter Obi. Peter said, there's nothing wrong in debt. Singapore used to borrow money. China used to borrow money. America used to borrow money. There's nothing wrong in borrowing. They are telling you have a debt problem. They are saying there's nothing wrong in water. He said, I'm going to borrow. That was his solution. They asked Tinubu. Tinubu said, the money from subsidy, I'll remove it. That is money for me. For all. The money from FX subsidy, I remove it. That is money for him. Our oil, there has not been any investment for 10 years. I invest in it. That years ago. Tell me who answered the question. We have a different. Who answered that question?
All right.
Today, people are. So let me just mention this. Today, people are abusing Tinubu. They are praising OT of Abia State. They don't know that without this painful thing that Tinubu is doing, Abia State will not be able to pay salary. That governor, all the things they are praising him for, if he was still under Buhari, that Buhari was
all right, sir.
Printing naira, he will not have money to even do anything. He will not even be able to pay salary. I've not seen anybody with unattained ideas. Just go and look at it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We get your point. Elijah Monday, father said, it's embarrassing for people at Dot. So we're talking about North and South and all of that. And they concerned people just for my region to be present, whether we're suffering or not. We're not looking for someone who is ready to do the work, but we're still talking about regions. Moreover, it's not a constitutional provision that power rotates 8 years here and there. Okay, Elijah, I think I get the idea of what you're hinting at. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Lukman, calling from Zaman.
Talk to us, Lukman.
Yes, opposition or no opposition. Nigerians do not need opposition at all. Me that I'm speaking already now, I am an opposition. And those who are suffering, they do not need.
But are you a formidable opposition, sir? An isolated opposition is powerless in the face of what is standing before you.
That is what I'm saying, that a formidable opposition may not necessary. Because people they are going through pain. You do not need to guide them on who to get a vote to welcome 2027. That's what I'm saying. The majority is about the people who are decamping and people who think they are smarter than the people and against the people. We don't need Saraki or Atiku to come and tell us where to put our votes to. They don't need anything, because what people are going through now is enough for them to unite and say, this is the direction we want to take this time around. So all those decamping, let all the governors and all the lawmakers decamp. They will be their Waterloo. I can bet. I am very, very confident. So that's it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your take. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, this is Paul from Governor.
Talk to us, sir.
Yes, I will quote the words of this person. According to the words of Mrs. Tinubu, if her husband do well, they should give them a second tenure. But if her husband do not do well, they should vote them out. She stated this in the Redeemed Christian Church of God when she went there for Thanksgiving.
So
based on the wife's statement, I think the husband has booked. So based on that, we should vote her and her husband out.
Did you vote her in the first place? You did not vote her in now. You did not vote her in. But then that's your judgment. Is your word against the word of people who are going to say he performed really well? I mean, how do you even measure what he performed well means? They will tell you one or two places where they've done extraordinarily well, and you can't contest it.
The husband did not do well. So according to the words of the wife, they should vote them out if they did not do well. So based on that, they have not done well. So for me, I feel that we Nigerians should vote them out. And me, like this, personally, me, Paul, like this, even if I die, nobody should carry my dead body to go and vote Tinubu, because I will wake up from the death and reject it.
Oh, but your ghost will be a violent one then. But just before that, don't worry, you're not going to die. You'll be alive to vote and vote wisely, I want to believe. But is there an opposition that you believe in can do better?
Secondly, it is becoming very obvious that we are now practicing one-party system, because Tinubu does not want opposition at all. He's doing more. If anybody opposes government and says that it's not doing the correct thing, they begin to fight the person. For example, the senator, Kwa Mdum, where he opposed that some of the things the APC are doing is not correct, because their member hire criticize them, they quickly remove him as majority leader. And recently, they also told him that he can go and find another political party. Somehow they managed to resolve that thing. and he started raising another allegation again. And this time around, everything about him has gone quiet. Whether they are the one that decided to silence him, I don't know.
All right, sir.
Second thing,
Thank you very much. You've used up your time, but you've made some brilliant points. Thank you very much for that. And Vehu Velumon Samuel, did I read it right? I see you. Thank you very much. Ibrahim Adesheyi, I read your comment before. Let's look at a few more of the comment quickly before I go back to the phone lines. Let me see. James Kemie says, welcome back. Coalition will surely outseed Tinubu come 2027. Watch out. What's coalition? If there will be one anyway, because so far I haven't seen any of the permutation in that direction in the first place. And politicians, half the time they operate at nights, but even at that, there will always be one or two persons to let you in on whatever they're plotting, and there's no such rumors making the round at this point in time. Okay, let's see these comments. About late Osinachi's husband sentenced to death by hanging. This is a case where one can say, let temper justice with mercy. In as much as the justice is in order, but it will not serve good for the children. It will leave them with terrible memories. Well, to me, I never supported the present APC government since Buhari failed a lot of Nigerians in his 8 years administration after coming into office. But the bitter truth is, without strong coalition come 2027, APC is a hard nut to crack for any candidate to unseat, except maybe Goodluck Jonathan and the vulnerable citizens versus Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Let those stomach infrastructure governors and politicians continue defecting, but whether they like it or not, a vote must count. And he's positive that a vote will count. Tom from Gwarimpa there. Now, during PDP's regime, whenever World Bank said something about the economy, the PDP government will first work on it for betterment. But when the World Bank talks about the state of our economy, the APC government would even attack them. This government doesn't like criticism at all, says Olale Babalola from Katampe. Patrick from Lukuguma, the audio quality is better now. Thank you very much. He says a bit, but not entirely. There's real from Wuse to oh dear. All right, I would let our engineers on it.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Prince Okifo, recording from FHA Lube right now. You see, I don't know why some people always try to be smart, thinking that other regions or other people are daft. It is very, very unfair. As bad as Buhari, these are not my words. Akim Baba Ahmed, Farouk Aliyu, so many of them up north, they've actually attested that Buhari messed up Nigeria. As bad as he was, they all kept quiet and insisted it was his birthright to do 8 years. Yes, Tinubu said he was going to continue from where he stopped, and he's trying to live his words. He hasn't lived up to that, actually, especially in terms of nepotism. Buhari was the Lord and Master. Now, if Southerners cannot bring a formidable candidate to wrestle power with Tinubu, then Tinubu should win and complete his 8 years. If everybody wants this country to be restructured, we can sit down and do it. But now, I beg, it's shortchanging. It should stop.
All right.
Everybody is a fool.
Thank you very much. I was saying all right. I didn't realize it was a voice message. Mohammed Musa, thank you very much. Appreciate. And let's hear this gentleman. Maxima sent the voice message. Well, Maxima is not downloading.
Good afternoon, Dr. Kim. One of your callers just called in and spoke my mind. As in, he spoke it so perfectly. Like if I see, I'll ask him if he removed it from my heart. It's not about coalition. It's not about who is there and who is not there. We all saw it. We all knew it that this thing called Tinubu regime was rigged. We know it. We know who won. Now, to sit down and follow them to play politics is killing ourselves without knowing. Until Nigerians stand up to fight for their right collectively, these old men will keep running things wrongly for us. There are less than 500,000 in that city. And we are more than 200 million, for crying out loud. I mean, I don't understand. Even I don't have a good data. At least we are more than 200 million. Still singing and dancing to these people tune for what? See, we can't get it right until we hit the street, man. And when we hit the street, we hit it well. Not hit and run, hit and stay. Till we get what we want. Stay there.
All right.
I don't understand.
All right. Doesn't sound like you understand, actually. But thank you very much. And Neme in Asokro says, I've said this, but let me reiterate again. If Atiku aspiration should cause Peter Obi to lose the presidential victory in 2027, then it's obvious he's equally lost the chance of becoming the president of Nigeria for life. All right, then. We'll take a look at other aspect of this after the news. Dorcas is seated for the news at the top of the hour. Let's join her.
This is Nigeria Info.